everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Exploring Resilience, and today I have been called to pull some cards regarding the week ahead, energies and for the week ahead. I am going to focus mostly on what I'm channeling through the cards, so I don't want to have a predestined amount of cards. In the last video, I was only going to pull one card for the overall energies, and the Divine Masculine ended up having two, and then I just pulled three for the head, heart, and 3D. But in this instance, I'm just going to go with what I'm guided to do. So some might be 3, some might be 5, some might be whatever. And I'm also not going to do reversals unless I feel guided to do that as well. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the Divine Masculine, and I'm just going to pull some cards to see where he is at the moment in his overall energies. And I don't seem to be able to shuffle today. Overall energies for the week ahead. Sorry if you can hear a lot of noise in the background. There seems to be a lot of traffic on the road today, and it is raining in the middle of summer. So it's actually quite nice to have the rain. We've been having, I don't know if it was a heat wave or what, but it feels like a clearing. Alright. What is in... Oh, there we go, having trouble again. What is in the Divine Masculine's overall energies over the coming week? I also intend for this to be timeless. So whenever you start watching this, even if it's already been a week from the time I post, or a year, this still counts for you. Now, I thought one card came out, which was the Destiny card, but it also had Desire reversed behind it. So, straight off the bat, I'm feeling that the overall energies with the Divine Masculine it's still echoing the fact that he's going through a spiritual awakening, and he's becoming more aware of his divine feminine. I don't know how well you can see the cards on this, but there's a woman here, and her third eye is open. A lot of these cards, the characters don't have physical eyes, and so her eyes are again not physical, but her third eye is. And so I'm picking up that the Divine Masculine over the coming week is going to be coming to a lot of revelations about his divine feminine and the integral role that she is playing in his life, and he's going to start seeing and understanding a lot more spiritually in the 5D about what has happened with them in the past, and I think he's also going to be coming into more of his own abilities, his own innate knowing abilities, which is going to bring forth a lot of clarity and also healing. There's some snakes along these tree branches, so there's growth and healing in that as he becomes more aware of his connection to his divine feminine and spiritual awakening overall. And so underneath that we had Desire reversed, and as I said, I'm going to just read upright unless I'm called to do the reverse. And so in Desire we have a male figure who is, he seems to be meditating, and in his hand he is holding a golden ethereal dragon head, and behind him we've got a third eye as well. It's a spiritual eye. We have an eagle or a hawk, I'm not sure what that is, a lotus, a red one. And I think that through his awakening and his awareness of his connection to the divine feminine, he's learning a lot right now about manifestations, about how what he thinks and feels in his mind and heart actually do come to fruition in his 3D space. And so he's working on clearing out anything that doesn't serve him, any desires that maybe could be self-sabotaging, and really trying to come into alignment with what is good for him and what will bring him eventually closer to his divine feminine, and bring also more awareness and clarity to the bigger picture of everything that he is experiencing at this time. Okay, so now I'm going to go and ask for what is going on in the divine masculine's headspace. How is he thinking about his divine feminine over the coming weeks? Not a week, sorry. I'm still a bit nervous doing these videos, so I might fumble over my words a bit and not be able to shuffle properly. Please forgive me. I think I'll get better the more I do this. And hopefully there's messages coming out of these cards for you that you're able to resonate with. Because this is so general, not everyone is going to be able to resonate with this. But maybe you will at another time. Alright, so what is in the masculine's headspace when he thinks about his divine feminine? Oh, we have the Phoenix. How is the divine masculine thinking about his divine feminine over the coming week? Alright, I'm being guided to just pull. Okay, so the first one that came out was the Phoenix, and on the top it says resurrection and surrender to change, and it's actually a number 29 card, 11. So to me this signifies the tower moment that he's experiencing. In one of my other videos I channeled the fact that they're really going through a dark night of the soul, and I think over the coming week he's really going to surrender to all of what's been unfolding in his life. I think he's going to come up with a lot more clarity and get straight what it is in his life that he wants as things are leaving him. I feel that there's a lot of loss, not necessarily actual loss like a death, but a lot of losses and natural transitions. So whether it's a job, a house, and he's just going with it this week. He knows that he can get through this. He knows that once he pulls out of this dark night, this crisis, he will be the Phoenix. He will resurrect out of the flames, and with that come to a higher state of consciousness and awareness. He knows that he's coming in to some really amazing abilities in his life. And yeah, this is really beautiful. And then we have the Ringmaster of Scrutiny, and this is about discernment, clear vision, and details. And it's a number 9 card. And what I'm seeing in the background is he seems to be sitting in a library. He's sitting at a desk with an open book and looking closely. You probably can't see it, but nothing's written in this book yet. It's an old book by the looks. The pages are they're not perfect, but there's nothing written in it. And on it is a magnifying glass, but he's not looking for the magnifying glass. He's not trying really hard to physically read this book. He's wielding a wand, and this wand is shooting divine light, divine, I want to say love, but divine love into this magnifying glass. And yeah, he's not really paying attention to what is transforming through the alchemy that he is doing. And so to me, this goes back to the desire and the destiny. He knows that there is something bigger at play here. He knows that there's something very spiritual and deeper happening. He knows that he's on a journey where he's releasing what doesn't serve him anymore. And he's paying more attention to the details he gets through spirit. He's learning to discern between what he's divinely guided to do and think versus physical information. We also have 2 fairies in this card. One seems to be sitting on his shoulder, on his arm, but this other one she's hiding behind the book. I don't think he even knows she's there. And so to me, that's telling me that he does have an awareness for his divine feminine. And he knows that she's a beautiful, magical being. But there's still much that he's unaware of. He's not seeing her in the physical. Still a lot hidden. And so he is possibly doing a lot of research regarding his spiritual awakening, what he's going through, all this destruction and clearing of the old, and the awareness that he is seeing a lot more than what meets the eye, and so he has to be careful about what he truly puts his attention onto. And I think through this seeking of information, he is going to come to more of an awareness of the twin flame connection. It may start off as something like soulmates, or I'm hearing that he may also be learning about soul families. So it may just start out with who's physically around him at this time and how they're all there for a purpose, and he may be recognizing past life connections with these people. And as a knock-on effect, we'll see this with his divine feminine. And then we move on to the Wise Woman of Wonderland. And up the top it says integrity and compromise. So I think through everything that he is going through at the moment, and you know, this is pointing to be something really beautiful, but I think that it is painful. It is hard. The divine feminine have gone through a lot of this themselves, especially when separation first came, and we had to really look at ourselves and see where our thoughts and desires were manifesting things that really were not good for us. They were manifesting karmic cycles, karmic partners, and a lot of us have already surrendered to the change and resurrected with this whole new view on, you know, our destiny and where things are going and what we have to do. And so I feel like with his journey that he's going through, he's going through this now himself. It's difficult it's hard, but when he comes through it, he understands that he will have more integrity and compromise within himself. Integrity in what he knows, what he does, how he acts, who he surrounds himself with, and compromise, because maybe some of your divine masculines were so stuck in their ways, stubborn, didn't want to hear your side of what was going on. Maybe they were quite in their ego state of being, and you know, maybe it was all about them for quite some time. And so through this, especially surrendering and really being knocked over, I think it's going to bring a lot more gentleness in the way that they approach life and themselves as well. So, how is the divine masculine feeling about his divine feminine? What is he holding in his heart space for his feminine? Now, there's a lot of things here I'm being guided to say that are quite loaded. So, like the phoenix, a lot of people understand the significance of what a phoenix symbolizes, and destiny and desire. And I'm being called to say, if you're at all picking up different, you know, if the phoenix means something different to you, go with what you're picking up, because your guides, your intuition, when you watch videos like this, really will be speaking out to you. And you know, a lot of you could be getting your own personal messages through these that I'm not aware of, and you know, they're meant just for you. And so really pay attention to that. Don't necessarily go with what I'm saying if your gut or your heart is screaming at you like, no, this is what that means for you. Alright, so this was the heart space. The prison wave, self-sabotage, poverty consciousness. And it's showing a fairy sitting on a stool, and she's very sad and possibly lonely, but she's got a beam of light shining in behind her, and the prison door is actually, ooh, wow, the prison door is actually open. She's not locked in there, she's just sitting in there, and she's not even looking up to see where she is right now. How is the divine masculine feeling about it? His divine feminine. Oh, 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 wow. Okay. So, prison wave, self-sabotage, poverty consciousness. And then we have the Lady of the Mirror, which is about reflection and non-judgment. I'm getting shivers. The Sacred Union, partnership and romance. And then what pulled out on top of that was the Spiral Dancer. Okay, so normally when cards fall out at the same time, I'll put them on top, but I'm being guided to actually, that's a card of its own. So the divine masculine is, first of all, I'm getting pulled to the Lady of the Mirror. And again, feminine, masculine, it's not the lady, it doesn't have to be a gender specific thing. But because we're talking about divine masculines, this card is telling me he is so aware right now of his divine feminine. He's seeing the reflection. He's seeing that she is the mirror to him. So something is happening up here where he's going through all of this loss and transformation and new awareness, to the point where he may be looking back at what's gone on between the two of you and is thinking, oh my God, that was me. You know, I thought that she was this, or I thought she was doing that, when really I'm hearing that a lot of things that he put onto you and blamed you for, made you take responsibility for, he's actually seeing that there's a pattern cycle in his life. So he's realizing it's not her, it's me. And with this prison wave, the self-sabotaging, I think that this is him taking a look at himself and seeing where he's responsible for needing to have this phoenix moment, where he hasn't been working with integrity, he hasn't been compromising, he's been manifesting in the wrong things, or things that do not serve him, and he's seeing that is a reflection in his life, and he really needs to work on this with non-judgment. And because his divine feminine is his mirror, and he has been projecting onto her, he knows he needs to surrender to the change, and really take a deeper look at how he's been bringing stuff in order to get to sacred union. So he really wants another chance, and he's doing a lot of hard work, a lot of deep soul searching to be able to get to this point. And I'm picking up that this may not be coming over the next week, but this is what he's working on. You have to remember what it felt like when you were going through all of this releasing and purging and healing of inner childhood wounds, past life wounds. It's not a quick process. Some of it is. Some of it you just have to look at and accept, and then boom. It's not really, you know, when you change the way you view things, sometimes it loses its power on you. So yeah, I feel union is coming for a lot of people, but it's in the process. This is just the beginning of his journey. Whew. And so we have the spiral dancer, and on here it's talking about sorry, I was going to say deception, but this is perception. So why was I going to say deception? Okay, so he is feeling that he's gotten it all wrong. He has this idea of what it means to be a masculine, or she has an idea, if the masculine in this situation is a female, of what it is to be that physical gender. And so what I'm getting with this card is they're learning to change their perception on what the right way to be is, and they're going to start doing their own dance as they spiral up into this awakening that they're experiencing and this divine inner knowing. And he's feeling this is all in his heart space. So this self-sabotage could also be what's holding him back from getting in touch with his feminine. He may know that it's a mirror to him and he's a mirror to her, but he may not feel that he deserves non-judgment yet, because he is self-sabotaging and is in a poverty consciousness. Maybe he needs to see he knows he needs to see himself in a state of non-judgment before he can come to her and expect non-judgment from her. So even in his heart space, I feel that he is still quite in his head space. He's thinking about what he is feeling. Alright, so what is going on for the masculine in their 3D? I know I'm shuffling it this way each time, but instead of just shuffling them like this. But that's how I've been called to do it. What is going on for the masculine in their 3D over the coming week? Oh. I'm just shuffling these around because that's how I'm being shown to put them. Okay, so we've got the Desert Prince, which is survival and false promises. We have the Dreamweaver, dreams, the collective good, and illusions. So far we've got false promises and illusions, and that's what's really coming out at me. Then we have the Swan Queen, transformation, intuition, and patience. So I think in his 3D, there is a lot happening. There's a lot of movement, a lot of clearing, as I've already said. And he's coming to experience and see the fact that he is being given and giving out false promises. And I'm hearing that he wanted to be in the state of illusions. I think it was easier for him to not have to face himself. Because if he was believing in these false promises and allowing these illusions to take place, then he didn't have to surrender to, he didn't have to burn to the ashes just to rise up again. He didn't have to stop and look without actively looking, and he didn't have to take responsibility for what he was manifesting into his life. But the Desert Prince also is about survival, and so what I'm getting is he's surviving through this. He is surviving through his dark night of the soul, but the Swan Queen is about transformation as well as patience and intuition. And so it looks like spirits come in and said, look, no, wake up and see what's really going on. And it's hard for him, but he can survive through it. The collective good and dreams and the dream walker. So maybe a lot of this awakening and coming to grips with what really is happening between him and his divine feminine is coming through dream. I'm also hearing, so, you know, as twin flames, the whole goal is not necessarily, it's not romantic love. It's not a happily ever after. It's to be on mission, to go forward and support and love and shine light to this planet. And I think he's seeing that in his dream state. What he thought he was supposed to be doing in life, whether it's work or just why he was here in the first, like why he was born in the first place, it's been shown to him through dreams, and he's breaking free of that mentality of, you know, maybe he overworked instead of working for the collective good. So he's seeing that this is, so maybe there's job changes happening right now, is what I'm getting. And this is what's going to bring about the transformation, intuition, and patience. So I'm getting that over the coming week, the masculine is going to be experiencing a slower pace of all of the changes that have been coming in, all of the tower moments, and I don't think this card actually means the tower, it could. But yeah, that's what I'm picking up from that. And yeah, his physical space is slowing down a little bit, and this is what's letting him come out and get in touch with his intuition and really take a good look at where he is right now, where he is with his job, where he's living, what he's been told. Maybe there was a false promise of a job that's fallen through, and he's been broken with the illusions, and it's making him think, what am I supposed to be doing here then? And it's causing transformation because of his intuition. He just needs patience because all of this is happening. Okay, so I just got called to look at the bottom of this deck, and I've got the Altar Priestess, Preparation, Prayer, and Sacred Ritual. So he's got to... Yeah, he's just got so much beautifulness going on for him, so much transformation and coming into his own abilities, his own in forms of knowing, however that may come across for him. And even though some of these realizations have been really hard to handle, they've been painful, I'm hearing now that especially with the bottom of the deck, preparation and prayer, he's getting a lot of divine support. He's going to be okay. He's getting through it. He's right where he needs to be. He may be coming up with his own rituals of how to get through what he's experiencing. But remember, it's just a mirror of what we've already been through. So just because he could be going through a really rough time, that doesn't mean that the Divine Feminine needs to rush in and save him. We still need to love ourselves, hold space, and work on what we've got going on. There's still much that we need to let go of as well. We're all still on our own journeys. And this is happening because we've taken our focus off of the masculine. We've stopped wondering, when is he going to heal? When is he going to see? When is he going to leave his karmic? We've stopped for a lot of us. And it's now their time. And we need to respect that. You know, and that comes back to integrity and compromise. We need to respect what the masculine is going through because, you know, we did this alone. This is a separation video. We did this by ourselves, and at the time we didn't want to do it by ourselves, but we needed to. We could never have gotten where we are right now, even if we're still in our struggle, even if this is happening for us right now. A lot of us, I'm saying us because I'm a divine feminine as well, a lot of us in hindsight can see the beauty of what we've had to experience and understand on our own. And for me personally, I was nowhere near as in touch with my guides and the divine universe until I got forced to really sit down by myself, look at myself and clear out the icky, the heavy, and a lot of what I had taken responsibility for that I didn't need to. So yeah, I'm just hearing a lot of respect where they are right now. So hopefully this has resonated for you. Again, if it hasn't, that's okay. Just go with what your gut and your heart and your mind is telling you. And also, it doesn't matter when you've come to this video. And I'm also being told just before I finish up here to let you all know that there's actually quite a few divine feminines watching this, and they're seeing themselves here as well and thinking, well, if I'm here, then how can my masculine be here? Because this is supposed to be a mirror. It is a mirror, and you're just both going through it at the same time. And in that case, when you are right in the midst of cleansing and clearing blockages, this isn't a time to run back to him because he might be experiencing the same thing. You still need to do it alone. Alright. So, thank you for coming and seeing this video. Hopefully it's helped bring some clarity to you. I hope the coming week is really good and informative for you. Thanks. Bye.